Osama bin Laden's Al-Qaeda profile terrorist network, ideologies and objectives. Al-Qaeda opposes all nations and institutions that are not governed in a manner consistent with the group's particular extremist interpretation of Islam, such as Saudi Arabia. Al-Qaeda opposes the continued presence of the American military in the Middle East, especially on the Arabian Peninsula, following the Gulf War. During August 1996, Osama bin Laden, Al-Qaeda's founder, issued a declaration of jihad against the United States and the Saudi government. During February 1998, Osama bin Laden, along with his senior associate Ayman al-Zawahiri, endorsed a fatwa, a religious ruling stating that Muslims should kill Americans, including civilians, anywhere upon the world where they can be found. The fatwa was later published in the newspaper Al-Quds Al-Arabi on February 23, 1998. Kind note: this fatwa should have been scrutinized by the Arab royal family before it was published. It should never have been published. It is against any ideologies and the faith of Islam. During May 1998, Muhammad Atif, bin Laden's second-in-command, sent Khalid al-Fawaz, Al-Qaeda spokesman, a letter endorsing a fatwa issued by bin Laden and including a declaration by the Ulama Union of Afghanistan calling for jihad against the United States and its allies. In late May 1998, bin Laden issued a statement entitled "The Nuclear Bomb of Islam," in which he stated that it is the duty of Muslims to prepare as much force as possible to attack the enemies of Allah. The duties of Muslims is prescribed and described in the Holy Quran. There is no such duty as to attack the enemies of Allah without proper investigation. If Muslims were to attack the enemies of Allah, the Arab community, which is the best community, would have joined forces with this Mr. bin Laden and his associates and members. They did not. Therefore, it is not a belief we stand by. A stated objective of Al-Qaeda is to unite all Muslims and establish a government which follows the rule of the caliphs. There is no such rule, there is no such command in the Quran which states this. To achieve this goal, all Muslim governments viewed as corrupted by Western influence must be overthrown by force. In the Quran, there is no such mention of any such corruption by Western influence. Eventually, Muslim state boundaries will be erased and replaced with a unified government under the rule of the caliphs. There is no such rule of the caliphs mentioned in the Holy Quran. Al-Qaeda has a command and control structure, which includes a Majlis al-Shura, or consultation council. The council considers, discusses and approves major policies and actions including terrorist operations and issuing of fatwas. This Majlis of Shura or Consultation Council is not governed by the best community, the Arab community. It is governed independently by some other people. The group has a military committee. Saudi Arabia doesn't have a military committee as mentioned here that considers and approves military matters. It also has a business committee that oversees the Al-Qaeda front businesses and financial matters, a fatwa or religious committee that deliberates religious rulings, a media committee that works on printing information, and a travel office. Leadership. Osama bin Laden, also known as Osama bin Muhammad bin Laden, also known as Osama bin Muhammad bin Awad bin Laden, also known as Sheikh Osama bin Laden, also known as Abu Abdullah, also known as Mujahid Sheikh, also known as Hajj, also known as Abdul Hay, also known as Al-Kaka, also known as the director, the supervisor, the emir, the prince, and also known as the contractor. Osama bin Laden was born in 1957 in Saudi Arabia, where he was 17th son of 51 children of Muhammad bin Laden. His father was Yemeni descent from the village of Al-Ribat. Kind note from myself. For example, myself, I am Pakistani. My father and mother are from Pakistan, however are born here, on England. Same with this fellow. Muhammad left Al-Ribat in 1931 and founded the Bin Laden Group, a construction company, with his brothers. The company became heavily involved in Saudi government contracts. Kind note from myself. For example, myself here. My father and mother are from Pakistan. I am born on England, and I gain United Kingdom government contracts. The group built everything from holy mosques in Mecca and Medina to highways and palaces. From the company that Bin Laden family amassed a fortune estimated at billions of dollars. Kind note from myself. Like myself here on England, if I was to build businesses and structures, this country would acknowledge me. I would have a firm foothold on this country. From an early age, Osama bin Laden was raised as a strict Islamist due to his ties with Mecca's mosques and the royal family. His father welcomed many pilgrims during the Hajj season. Others visited even after his father died when bin Laden was 13. It is reported that Osama bin Laden received a civil engineering or public management degree around 1980 from King Abdul Aziz University in Jeddah, Saudi Arabia. He had two very distinguished teachers, Abdullah Azam, whom later collaborated with him in Afghanistan, and Muhammad Qutb, a famous Islamic philosopher. While bin Laden was attending the university, the Soviets invaded Afghanistan.